Live and direct, live and direct, live and direct, live and direct. It's your boy, always real, never fake. Alex Raw Tech is in the building. Look, I know this channel strictly for live streams. Okay, it's called Raw Talk. I just gotta say something, right? You can't listen to people that don't speed test, that only do speed tests here and there, because they're not gonna know what they're talking about. They won't know the difference between congestion and thinking that T-Mobile, Verizon, or AT&T is shutting off their internet service when it's truly unlimited. Just you get throttled down to QCI 9. So you got to watch it with certain content creators that don't know nothing about network congestion, and are not usually speed testing, because they'll give you the incorrect information. You guys know I've been speed testing for, oh my God, 9 years, about to be 10 years now. So I know what the hell I'm talking about. Because there's other content creators on this platform that'll sit here and tell you that Mint Mobile shuts off your data, and it's because the tower where they live at is severely congested. And since they don't know how to check the service mode to see how many gigahertz of N41 is in their location, then they're going to stay congested. And then, of course, if you have two phones from two different carriers, right? And you're in the same exact location, okay? And you speed test AT&T, right? And AT&T doesn't have, it's not even working. It's not even loading YouTube, Facebook, none of that. All right? And then you grab T-Mobile, and T-Mobile loads up YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, uh, whatever, without any issues. That means that AT&T's local tower is congested. It doesn't mean that AT&T shut off your data, okay? Because there's other content creators on YouTube with misleading and falsified information saying that Mint Mobile shuts off your data, that T-Mobile shuts off your data, when they don't. They don't. You guys know that when I went to New York in Manhattan on the 4th, on the 6th of this month of August, you guys know that when I did the live stream, I showed you guys that T-Mobile had bad congestion. Okay? So that doesn't mean T-Mobile business was shutting down my data on my business line. Of course not. I'm live streaming on it right now. That meant that in New York, in Manhattan, where I was at, there was congestion. Too many people on the cell site at one time. Too many people on the tower at the same time. So that doesn't mean that the company is shutting down your data. That means that it's so congested that not even me being on T-Mobile business saved me from the congestion. The only way I would have been saved from the congestion is if I would have had T priority, which I don't have T priority, and I think it's fucked up. I am a security officer, licensed security officer, took the training to be a security officer. And I think, security officers should be considered, across the board as first responders. And I'm not joking. I'm being dead serious. Today I saved plenty of lives. Well, yesterday, because the parking lot next to McDonald's was full of gas. That thing had like 75 gallons of gas, and the fire trucks, the gas company PSENG over here in New Jersey, they didn't know how the freaking bottom. They had to dig a 5 foot hole to pump out all the gas, and they don't even know how I got there because the nearest gas station is like a quarter of a mile away from McDonald's. And I'm the one who called 911 and let them know the situation. So that's the only way. You won't deal with congestion. And that's because T Priority has his own slice, dedicated slice on the network. It don't matter if you're here, Puerto Rico, California, Texas, all across the 50 states where T-Mobile has service. T Priority is going to have a network slice. So they're not allowed to be congested at all because T-Mobile can have a lawsuit because it's part of first responders. That's the only way. But business, regular postpaid, Metro, Mint Mobile, Ultra Mobile, anything that runs on the T-Mobile network, and you go to a congested site, you're going to see that your phone is not going to work. Or you're going to be able to make phone calls. You're going to see all your bars, of course. You're going to see 5G UC because it is there, but you're not going to be able to take advantage of it. And you're going to be thinking, why? And it's because the network is congested. That doesn't mean that T-Mobile shut off your data. That's just like when I went to a congested site, you guys don't remember, recently, where freaking AT&T on the builder plan was giving me 0.0. That tower was congested. That doesn't mean that team AT&T sat here and shut off my data because I'm on QCI 9 on the builder plan. That's what you get on the builder plan, QCI 9. And what am I testing now? Cash App Mobile. And what does Cash App Mobile have? QCI 8. So am I supposed to see any type of congestion? Not really, because I'm on QCI 8. But if the tower is congested enough and I have used more data than other people, then they're going to let them people get access to the tower. That's what other YouTubers don't understand. These towers are like highway lanes, right? If you're sitting here using up all this data, right? Your data bucket. And then you live in a congested area. Of course, you have to expect that if you live in a congested area and you go over 50 gigs, 100 gigs, whatever it is, and they slow you down or they drop the down the QCI 9, you should already expect to be the phone basically be a brick when you go outside because you're in a congested area. And on top of that, you're using up all your premium data. You know what I'm saying? So that doesn't mean they're cutting off your service. But if you live in a congested area like that, then bro, you got to stop being cheap and get yourself the freaking I don't know, the freaking saver plan. Right now, what is it called? What is it called? Experience saver. Yeah, experience saver plan. Right now, if you port in from a different carrier that's not from T-Mobile, you pay $30 a month, and there you go. You get 50 gigs of high-speed data. And on the Saver plan, since it's postpaid, it'll probably have a better experience on QCI 9. Because there is levels to QCI 9, just in case you don't know. If I'm on postpaid, my QCI 9 is not going to be the same as yours on prepaid. I'm still going to have a higher priority on QCI 9 over you. So if you're on postpaid and you're on QCI 9, your phone is still going to work. Now, if you're on prepaid, then yeah, you're basically screwed. You're screwed. I mean, when they had turned off the hospital, right? You guys know that the new site is being built, the new macro site next to the hospital, that metal tall ass thing, right? That's the new macro site. Recently, when they turned off the hospital, right? All the data got rushed to the tower next to my house. So when I was working at McDonald's, my speeds on Metro were like 15 over 5. That is congestion. And then it went down to 5 over 2. That is really bad congestion. But I was still getting speeds. So I don't know. I think there's a slight difference between Mint Mobile and Metro, to be honest. I feel like Mint Mobile is like the visible of T-Mobile, to be completely honest. And Metro is the total of T-Mobile. Like Metro's QCI 9, from what I've been noticing, it's better. And other people that have tested it, um, Metro's QCI 9 is better than Mint Mobile's QCI 9. And you guys might be asking, okay, but that's kind of not fair because they're both on the T-Mobile network. I understand all that, but if you really think about it, what makes T-Mobile more money? Metro or Mint Mobile? Metro. Not Mint Mobile. Metro. Metro makes T-Mobile millions of dollars, and they bring in millions of customers a year. So who they're gonna take care of first? The Metro customer. Who they're gonna take up care of second? The Mint Mobile, the Ultra Mobile, and the MVNOs. Metro's always going to be first. So I believe that is if this YouTuber would have had Metro instead of Mint Mobile in that congested site, they would have at least gotten like 3 or 5 megs down, and they would have been able to open, YouTube and all that. But due to the fact that they're dealing with a congested network and they're dealing with Mint Mobile, imagine Mint Mobile took a long. It was like last year. Yeah, it was last year in 2025 was when T-Mobile introduced QCI 9. Because remember, before it was 50 gigs and then you would get throttled to 2G speeds. Um, Metro has had QCI 9 access on the T-Mobile network since 2015. So it's been 11 years that Metro has been on QCI 9 once you go over your 50, 60, whatever gigs, whatever data bucket you got. Like on the $25 plan, I get 35. On the $40 plan, you get 35. On the $50 plan now with Metro, you get, I think it's like 60. Yeah, it's like 60 gigs of premium data. On the $60 plan, it's truly unlimited on QCI 7. QCI 7, and you don't get no slowdown. You're permanently, that's like a network slice. You're permanently on QCI 7. So that's why it's so important to do your due diligence, and look at other YouTubers. You can have a favorite YouTuber, that's fine. But always go around and be like, you know what? I'm gonna find out if this is true. Let me see if other YouTubers are saying that, that Mint Mobile completely shuts off your data, like T-Mobile shuts it off. No, that's when you're in a congested network, on a congested site, on a congested cell site, on a congested macro site. Yes, you will see slowdown. You will see shitty data. I done seen it here with Verizon. I left Verizon back in 2017 because at my house I was getting 1 meg over 50 kilobytes. That is severe congestion. So I had to leave. So I feel like instead of you making a video bashing in the company, just switch. Look at what I did with Boost Mobile. I got tired of their bullshit, them throttling me down to 2G speeds, and what did I do? I moved my number over to Verizon, and now I'm happy. Last month I almost used 2 terabytes. My data with Verizon just restarted today, just like T-Mobile. They both start on the 25th. So my shit dropped from 2 terabytes to 0. Well, you could say 2 terabytes because I used 1.80 terabytes. So that's basically 1,800 gigs. So I put Verizon to the test on the Unlimited Plus plan, and it worked. Imagine almost 2 terabytes. They didn't shoot me no text message talking about oh, you're abusing the network, because they know I'm a YouTuber. You know what I'm saying? So the thing here is, guys, that you really have to do your due diligence. You guys know I like putting networks to the test, all right? That video that I put, speed testing, you know, the unlimited, the AT&T standalone versus Cash App Mobile non-standalone 5G Plus. The couple of speed tests that I did over there, I did like 10. That was already 30 gigs. I think I already used 35 gigs. Yeah, I already used 35 gigs on free in not even one day. In less than 24 hours, I used 35 gigs on Cash App Mobile. So I am a heavy, intense user when I'm speed testing the network. Okay, I like if companies want to make bold claims, I'm gonna test it. I can honestly say that Verizon's Unlimited Plus plan, Unlimited Ultimate plan are truly unlimited, uncapped data. Okay, this month I don't need to put Verizon to that torture unless I get the Google Pixel, because I'm still debating if I want to get the 18 Pro, or if it's just a lot of money. Because if I do that, guys, I'm gonna have to let go of a couple of carriers. I'm serious. I already let go of Metro and the Metro Home Internet. I didn't pay the bill, so I'm thinking if I get the 11, right, the 11 Pro on Verizon, because Verizon, you guys know I did that live stream. I did it here. I did the multi live stream where they fixed my shit and they gave me 5,000. So I got up to $5,000 as a credit limit for financing with Verizon at zero down. So I could basically get whatever the hell phone I want. There's no phone that costs 5,000. All right. So that means if I want to wait and get the Ultra, the iPhone Ultra, I could get that shit too. But I was just thinking about if I'm gonna get the 18 Pro on T-Mobile Business and have the 11 Pro, the Pixel 11 Pro on Verizon, because I want to test that N90, what is it called? That N90 modem that's supposed to be really good on millimeter wave on the Pro. You know what I'm saying? I really want to put that to the test on millimeter wave. I mean, shout out to Sneed Mobile Tech, my brother from another mother. He shows screenshots from somebody that got 4,700 down and like 150 up on the Google Pixel 11 or 11 Pro millimeter wave. So I want to test that phone. The only thing that's making me mad about Verizon, to be honest with you guys, is that Verizon is not giving me a good deal. Like they want to give me $490, right, for my 16 Pro, but they want to make it as a one-time credit to my bill. No, and I want that broken down into installments. I checked it on T-Mobile's website, and T-Mobile gives me 1,100 because my 16 Pro is 512 gigs. You know what I'm saying? So it's worth more money than what Verizon's giving me, and they're not even giving it to me in installments. They're basically giving it to me in one lump sum. Freaking AT&T gives me freaking $1,000 for the Pixel 6a. You get what I'm saying? So at this point, my brother needs a phone, so I might sell him the Google Pixel 6a. I'm not even gonna trade it in. I'm gonna sell it to him because I don't want to get the Pixel with T-Mobile, because then I would have to beg T-Mobile business to unlock the damn phone, and they're like, "Now you still owe the phone and you just got it and blah blah." Oh my god, I don't got time to argue. I don't got time to crash out. For that, I'll just get the phone on Verizon, and Verizon right now has a hell of a deal. If I add a line, they're giving me the Google Pixel for free on the second line, plus a $200 gift card that I could use towards my bill or towards accessories. But of course, you know how it is after 60 days of active service, that's when they send you that virtual card. But it's worth it. It's $200. And you're getting the Pixel for free. You either got to put your second line on the Unlimited Plus plan or on the, what is it called, the Unlimited Ultimate plan. And that's for new lines. This deal's for new lines. So if you're new, if you're thinking about going to Verizon and you're adding just one line, you'll still get the Google Pixel for free. You'll still get it for free. I was gonna do that, but uh, I would have to keep the family going for 2 months. I mean, for 90 days before I could cancel the other line. Because if not, I would lose the credits that It's gonna get cold. This dude just opened up this second line just to get this phone for free, and now he wants to cancel his main line. So I don't feel like going through all that aggravation and all, so I'm just gonna upgrade on my line. And I don't want to lose my number anyway. That's the number I had for years with freaking Boost. No way to switch the number from. They can't do what T-Mobile does. T-Mobile, after you cancel a line, they could actually drag that number that's canceled to replace your current number with T-Mobile. I've done it in the past. I canceled the line and I was able to move that canceled number line over to replace my current number on my line. With Verizon is different. I would have to port it out to, like, I don't know, Visible, and then port it into Visible, and then from Visible port it back to Verizon. And do something like that. Or port it into US Mobile or Google Voice and then port it back into Verizon so I don't lose my phone number. That's the only way to really do it. But always remember that, guys, because I need to go to sleep. I gotta go to work later on today. I gotta go to work like in 6 hours. Just know that if you're in a place where it's congested and you're on QCI 9, say goodbye to your data unless you're on postpaid. If you're on postpaid, then there's a bigger guarantee for it to work. If you're on prepaid, it's a goner. But that doesn't mean T-Mobile or Verizon or AT&T are turning off the data to Cricket or Visible or Total. That just means that tower is severely congested. All right, guys. So take care. God bless and be safe. And I'll catch you guys on the next live stream later on. Deuces, guys. Appreciate your support. Make sure you guys smash that like button on the replay, crew.